General Hospital spoilers for Monday, April 4th reveal that Kristina is truly receiving a new storyline about adjusting after Rick's danger. After the horrific accident she accidentally caused, Kristina is facing the consequences of her actions in ways she never imagined. Each day that Rick remains in the hospital, each piece of news about his health feels like a knife stabbing into Kristina's broken conscience. She can't eat, can't sleep, and can't focus on anything other than the guilt that is consuming her from the inside. Kristina has lost significant weight, her eyes are dark from lack of sleep, and her once bright smile rarely appears. One of the new pressures Kristina is facing is the gaze of those around her. Although only a few people know about her role in the accident, Sonny, Alexis, and now Molly, Kristina feels as if the entire town of Port Charles is looking at her with suspicion and accusation. She begins avoiding public places, refusing to attend family events, and even considers leaving the city. But Sonny, with his unconditional love for his daughter, persuades her to stay, promising to protect her at any cost. Alexis, caught between her two daughters, is doing everything she can to keep the family together. She has tried to comfort Kristina, while also trying to understand Molly's pain. But things are becoming increasingly difficult as Molly refuses to be in the same room as Kristina, and Kristina is too overwhelmed by guilt to face her sister. Alexis has begun to worry about Kristina's mental health, especially as she notices her daughter becoming more and more isolated and depressed. The new story also involves Kristina's growing obsession with the accident, as she begins having nightmares. In the dream, she sees herself cutting the car's brakes, but instead of Rick and Liz, she sees Sonny and Alexis in the car. She tries to stop them from driving, attempts to confess her guilt, but no sound comes from her mouth. She can only stand there, helpless, as the car plunges off a cliff and bursts into flames. These nightmares have terrified Kristina so much that she's afraid to sleep, leading to exhaustion and increasing anxiety. Kristina also starts having hallucinations while awake, imagining seeing Rick standing in the corner of the room, staring at her with an accusing gaze, or hearing Liz's voice whispering in her ear when she's alone. These hallucinations are driving Kristina to paranoia, making her fear that she's losing her mind. She has begun to wonder if this is her punishment, not prison, but relentless mental torture. This is proving to be a new changing storyline as Kristina begins seeking redemption in new ways. She has started visiting the church, a place she rarely went before. She has started talking to Father Coates, seeking advice and guidance without fully revealing her guilt. She has also begun volunteering at the hospital, trying to atone by helping others. This is a new Kristina, no longer the impulsive and confident girl but a woman struggling with guilt and desperately searching for salvation. During her volunteer work at the hospital, Kristina has started spending more time with Elizabeth, who is still recovering from the accident. At first, Kristina couldn't look Liz in the eye, feeling too guilty about what she had caused. But Liz, unaware of Kristina's role in the accident, has welcomed her help with gratitude. Gradually, a friendship has begun to form between them, making Kristina feel even guiltier about what she had done. Kristina has also started spending more time with Liz's children, Aiden, Jake, and Cameron. She has helped them with their homework, taken them out, and tried to make their lives easier while their mother is recovering. She has developed a special bond with Aiden, the youngest and most vulnerable. Her affection for Aiden has become a rare source of comfort in her guilt-ridden life, but also a constant reminder of what she has done. This is causing a new breakthrough when Kristina finally decides to confront Molly. After several days of avoiding her sister, Kristina meets Molly at the law library, where she often studies. In an emotional confrontation, Kristina confesses everything, not only about causing the accident but also about the deep regret she's feeling. She begs Molly for forgiveness, not for her own sake but for their sisterly relationship. But Molly, with her pain and anger, cannot forgive her. Instead, she gives Kristina an ultimatum: either Kristina confesses to the police, or Molly will do it for her. This decision has put Kristina in an unimaginable position, forcing her to choose between her freedom and her relationship with her sister. Kristina, stunned by Molly's ultimatum, turns to Sonny for advice. Sonny, always protective of his children, suggests arranging for Kristina to leave the country, to a place where she can start over. But Kristina, changed by everything she has gone through, refuses her father's offer. She begins to realize that running away won't solve the problem, it will only prolong the pain and guilt she is feeling. Instead, Kristina starts to consider confessing. She begins researching the legal system, the penalties she might face for her actions, and what she can expect if she confesses. She has also started organizing her affairs, making sure that everything will be taken care of if she has to go to jail. This is a more mature Kristina, someone who is ready to face the consequences of her actions. But Kristina's decision has become more complicated as Rick's condition begins to worsen. The doctors have discovered a blood clot in his brain, requiring emergency surgery. If Rick doesn't survive the surgery, Kristina could face much more serious charges. This has placed Kristina in a race against time. Should she confess now, before things get worse? Or should she wait, hoping that Rick will recover? As Port Charles continues to watch the unfolding situation, one thing is certain, Kristina is at a crossroads in her life. And the decision she makes next will not only shape her future but that of her entire family. Will she take the easier path and let Sonny continue to protect her? Or will she take the harder road, face the consequences of her actions, and possibly find true redemption along the way? While Kristina struggles with her decision, those around her are also facing their own challenges. Alexis is trying to keep the family together while struggling with feelings of failure as a mother. Sonny is facing the reality that he cannot protect his daughter from all consequences. And Molly is wondering if she can live with the idea of sending her sister to jail. As the days go by and the pressure builds, Kristina knows she can't delay her decision forever. Sooner or later, she will have to face the consequences of her actions. And when she does, she hopes she will find the peace she has been searching for since the accident. Only time will tell, but one thing is certain, Kristina Corinthos Davis will never be the same again. And perhaps, just perhaps, that's not a bad thing. Perhaps from the ashes of guilt and regret, a new, stronger, and more mature Kristina will emerge, someone who can not only face her past but also build a better future. Jason and Sonny are really getting a new storyline regarding the criminal evidence that Soliski holds, a dramatic development that is shaking the foundation of their power in Port Charles. After months of investigation and surveillance, they have finally obtained undeniable evidence of Soliski's criminal activities, from weapons smuggling, money laundering, to organized murders. This evidence could not only put Soliski in prison but also help Jason and Sonny eliminate a dangerous rival threatening their territory. However, handling this information is no simple matter. Jason and Sonny must carefully consider every move they make. They know that using this evidence publicly could lead to a broader investigation that could involve them. At the same time, keeping quiet might allow Soliski to continue expanding his operations and threatening their position in Port Charles. But the new twist comes when Brick discovers that Soliski's devices contain more than they anticipated. Along with the evidence of Soliski's crimes, the device contains information about a much larger criminal network, with links to high-ranking officials, prominent businesses, and even some members of the Corinthos family. Of particular concern are documents related to Michael and his activities at ELQ, suggesting that Sonny's son may have inadvertently become involved in some shady dealings. Brick, with his superior technological skills, has spent hundreds of hours analyzing data from Soliski's device. He uncovered a complex network of financial transactions, encrypted emails, and even phone call recordings. Among these were conversations between Michael and some dubious business partners, hinting that ELQ might have unwittingly been involved in money laundering activities. One of the new challenges Jason and Sonny face is deciding how to handle this sensitive information. On the one hand, they need to use the evidence to eliminate Soliski. On the other hand, revealing the full contents of the device could put Michael and other family members at risk. They are faced with an unimaginable dilemma: how to protect their territory without hurting those they love. Jason, with his strong protective instincts, has proposed a bold solution: use the information about Soliski to force him to cooperate while keeping secret the details regarding Michael and the Corinthos family. He suggests organizing a secret meeting with Soliski, presenting evidence of his crimes, and offering a deal. Soliski must withdraw from Port Charles and hand over all his operations to Jason and Sonny, in exchange for their silence on the matter. But Sonny, always cautious when it comes to threats to his family, is worried that Soliski might not be trustworthy and could use this information against them in the future. He proposes an alternative: use the evidence to pressure the corrupt officials involved with Soliski, forcing them to act against him. This way, they can eliminate Soliski without being directly involved in the matter. While Jason and Sunny debate the best course of action, Carly accidentally discovers the existence of the device and the information it contains. With her strong motherly instincts, Carly begins to sense warning signs about the relationship between Jocelyn and Brennan. From changes in Jocelyn's behavior to the times she disappears without adequate explanation. Every time Jocelyn mentions Brennan, with excitement in her eyes and enthusiasm in her voice, Carly feels a chill down her spine, a feeling she has learned to trust over the years dealing with dangerous individuals. One of the new adjustments regarding Jocelyn's growing obsession is when the young woman starts spending more and more time on WSB-related activities. Jocelyn, who was once an excellent student and promising athlete, now seems to have neglected her studies and training to engage in special projects assigned by Brennan. She has started talking about a future in intelligence, helping others, and protecting the country, ideas that never appeared in her career plans before. Carly, noticing this change, has tried to talk to her daughter, but Jocelyn has become defensive and secretive. She's begun avoiding conversations with Carly, offering vague explanations of where she's been and what she's doing, and has even started lying, something Jocelyn rarely did before. This has made Carly even more worried and determined to find out the truth about what's going on with her daughter. One of the increasingly maddening complications is when Carly decides to investigate Brennan. She begins tracking his activities, collecting information about his past, and even hires a private investigator to dig deeper. What she discovers only deepens her concerns. There are troubling gaps in Brennan's background, contradictions in his story, and suspicious connections to some dangerous figures. Carly also starts seeking help from Jason, whom she knows can help protect Jocelyn. Jason, with his vast intelligence network, begins investigating Brennan and uncovers some troubling details. He finds that Brennan may be using Jocelyn to get closer to the Corinthos family and gather information on their operations. One of the new explosions in this situation occurs when Carly decides to confront Brennan directly. In a tense meeting at Metro Court, Carly warns Brennan that she knows he's exploiting her daughter and that she will do whatever it takes to protect Jocelyn. Brennan, calm and confident, denies the accusations and even suggests that Carly might be too overprotective and not allowing Jocelyn to grow up. This confrontation only strengthens Carly's resolve to separate Jocelyn from Brennan's influence. She starts planning to take Jocelyn out of Port Charles for a while, maybe to visit family elsewhere or join a study program abroad. But Carly knows that Jocelyn, with her strong and independent personality, will not easily agree to this plan. As the situation continues to escalate, Carly finds herself in a battle not only to protect her daughter but also to regain Jocelyn's trust and love. And as she continues fighting to keep her family safe, she can't help but wonder, will she be able to save Jocelyn from Brennan before it's too late? Or will she have to watch her daughter be drawn into a dangerous world she can no longer protect her from? As Port Charles continues to watch the unfolding situation, one thing is certain: Carly won't stop until she knows that Jocelyn is safe. And if that means going up against Brennan and the entire WSB, then that's exactly what she will do. Because when it comes to protecting her children, nothing can stop Carly.